Okay, so this is Gertie, a 9 to 10 month old Bergamasco. She is the daughter of Fiona. As you can see from her colouring, she's very, very similar. So today we're going to have a look at how we are trying, as first time owners of a Bergamasco, to manage the ever-changing coat and both how to manage that in the seasons, which at the moment is quite wet and damp, although it's the summer. So as you can see, if you zone in, nothing has been done to her yet today. It's been quite a rainy day. So when we look into her coat, you can see exactly how it's really turning. So the top part here is still rather fluffy. It's still quite smooth. It's a little bit more coarse than when she was a puppy, an initial young pup, should I say. But you can see here that actually underneath everything is remarkably different.
Show the frocks there.
So you can see where her hair is now starting to clump. You can see now where the flocks are starting to come in. And then it's all of our jobs here to start to very carefully make sure these clumps aren't enormous great mats, that these clumps of mats are broken up and then put into lines so it can automatically do its job. You'll see here the different hair type that's coming in and how that kind of clumps and sticks together. And so how we then have to break it very carefully. And I say carefully because of the skin, not pulling on her skin, to break it up. So you can see that if we get a lumpy patch here, you can see the clump and you can see it starting to clump and attach itself to the other side here. So you would start to very carefully tear. You can see it starting to naturally form and pull. And I'm just using medium force, but not near her skin. Just using medium force to pull it open here. Now, because Gertie has been on the grooming table from day dot, she's pretty comfortable with being fiddled with. So if you have a dog that hasn't and doesn't feel comfortable, start from the very beginning on the sofa, just gently playing and just gently teasing. But you can see here, there's one coming in here. So my hands are going underneath, my thumbs are just pulling that apart, just carefully. But it does need quite a tear, and you can see that that's coming in here. And then if we go under here, all the way through. So you'll spend your time, and it can be quite therapeutic of an evening. People say, here, I've just opened one there. And you're just going across, finding the lines here, look, and then just teasing that coat open. There we go. Good girl. Good, sweet. Good girl. So we're at the stage now where we are not brushing the coat. We are not using all of our tools here. We're not going back under and using our tools to separate. We're not doing that at all. We're just going to use our tools for the head very carefully, that I'll come to on in a minute.
We do lightly brush this puppy coat as well.
This, just the very top bit here, where especially, for example, today it's been raining, I'm using a slicker brush. I'm being very careful because the pins are quite sharp, not to go down into the skin. Just gently tickle the top. My hand always underneath supporting her here. So you can just get some of the rain style or the mud or any grass that may well have attached itself to the mats. But if you look, see here, there's a little bit of a grass seed. Still always checking that she's not keeping those grass seeds in her coat, as you would with any other dog. If I am going to brush, make sure you hold or comb the hair so you're not pulling at the skin on any conditions at all. So you can see here, this is coming in. Her feet are coming in here. There we go, good girl. While we are talking feet, of course we can shape the feet just to keep that in its nice shape. All you're doing is just cutting the curve in, making sure you're just taking off the tattered edges here, keeping the curve here, just the edges, and tidying up the back. Keeping it round, just following the natural shape of your dog. There. And you can see here, just carefully, any just scraggle bits. There we go. not going anywhere near. Her toenails are all the way through, so we want quite a distance. We're not keeping it close to her nails. There's quite a distance there. But you can see already that's got a lovely, careful round shape in. Now, if you wanted as well, while you're doing feet, this is a good opportunity as well to clear any of the hairs between the pads. So here, while she's safely up here, you would reverse the foot so it's got in front of you, slightly open it with your fingers and just tickle the blade, good girl, across, just getting rid of any of that hair very carefully. It's very tickly, good girl, Gertz. She usually prefers this laying down, to be fair. And all I'm doing is just very carefully taking out just the hair that again could catch with any grass seeds, any mud, and just not taking any of the shape from the foot, but just keeping it flat. There. Okay, so if we go then to the head. So with the head, we are going to keep the head brushed out. But with the head, we need to be really, really careful. To state the obvious, we are going close to the most sensitive parts, to the eyes and to the muzzle, that will really hurt. So for those of you who like to use the slicker, I would really make sure that you're covering the eyes at all stages, making sure that if any pins are going absolutely nowhere near her face or could catch, especially because her hair can catch. Again, I'm holding anything that's delicate first, so I'm not pulling on anything at all, as you would with any other dog, but particularly here. You can see her eyes are in here. So I'm just making sure I'm not going too close. And then if I am, I'm going to use a much softer brush here, holding the hair. And then when I'm ready and I feel it's coming through, you can then go to a wide part of the comb. There to come. Good girl. Holding it through. Look, that's running through nicely. And then going to the thinner side. And again, there's a little tangle there, making sure I'm holding it at all stages as I tease that little tangle out. There. And that's going through. There we go. And just very carefully. So, and again, repeating, holding. So I'm not directly pulling on her at all. You can see she's not in any pain here or any anxieties. I'm not saying it's the most comfortable. She's trying to turn away, but she's used to it. Here. And again, gently here as I come forward. Holding it again. If it's done regularly, the comb should go through really quite naturally. Really quite naturally. Again, line brushing, line combing. Good girl, good girl, good girl. And you can see that's coming through. Where it's part of her head at the back, go back with the slicker because it's out of her eyes, holding it. Good girl. I'm brushing it. So then you can see the difference here now. The ears can clump, so do those in sections, holding her ear leather really carefully and really gently. Ear leathers are really, really delicate, actually much more and on the edge than people realise, and they can really cut and nip. So holding it nice and steady. Good girl. Good girl.
Yeah, sweetie.
There we go, sweet. Now, if you do come across some sections where it is really matted, a conditioning or matting spray often helps, just to at least break up the mats, and often by the dirty faces, that can really help in here. There are different products around. At the moment, I'm used to keep using this Mat X. They're not always keen on the smell of it, but this product is absolutely brilliant at breaking up the mat. Again, I'm not spraying it into her face. I'm holding her nose. I'm spraying it into the area I want to tackle. And then gently, that will start to work and break it down. Good girl. Come on, sweet. Good to come. Good to come. Good girl. And you can see in here already, the brush is actually going through. Often it's a two-person job at this stage, to be fair. And where we've had the rain, as I said earlier, it is making it harder. your shoes.
Sneezes.
Sneeze, sneeze. There we go. Good girl. Gertie, stay. And you can see here that how that matte spray does actually work, and it does release here, so it can run through. Again, holding at all stages, any area that might be tangling up. And then it allows you to then break down any bits that you might need. Here, come through a knotted area, holding it tight with my fingers and just gently combing that out. Good girl. Good girl. And then that's come straight out. And then you just keep working it. So you'd work the head so it's nice and smooth, as knot free as you can. And working through the muzzle, there's much work to be done there. And daily as well. Come on, good girl. By her eyes. Very important that each day, by her eyes, you are clearing out any of her eye proteins here. So then that doesn't then mat up, because that can get really sore for dogs. Really sore. And again, being careful with her eyes. And I can see here where it's getting tangly. But I'm holding it here. And that's about it. Here we go.